So this is page 6 of your interactive notebook, and it covers material safety data sheets. And here in the left margin of the right side, we glued a template for a material safety data sheet. I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. And it folds out just like this, and this is an example of a 9-section material safety data sheet. And I want to say at this point that material safety data sheets are formatted in a few different ways. So this is one example of a material safety data sheet, and a lot of the ones that we will use will look like this, but they are not necessarily all going to have exactly the same sections in the same order. It's just important that you are familiar enough with the information on them that given a material safety data sheet, you can find the information that you're looking for. So what types of information can we find out about a chemical on a material safety data sheet? Well, lots of things, but I'm going to list 4 main things that I want you to know. The first are the health effects of exposure to the chemical. The second is an evaluation of the hazard. It says see below here because at the bottom of this page you're going to glue in an NFPA chart, and I'm going to talk about this in just a minute. The third one is protective measures that you need to use when you're handling the chemicals or disposing of the chemicals. And then the last one is emergency procedures. So what do you do if you spill it, or worse, spill it on you? So let's talk about that hazard evaluation again. Here at the bottom I have an NFPA chart, and this NFPA will have ratings for the health hazard, fire hazard, reactivity of the chemical. This is a numerical system from 0 to 4 for each of these. 0 is going to be the least reactive or the least hazardous, and then 4 is going to be the most hazardous. So for example, you can see that for this chemical, and this is just an example one, but for this chemical it has a reactivity rating of 1, which means it's only unstable if heated, but a fire hazard of 4, meaning that its flash point is below 73 degrees Fahrenheit, so you would want to store this at a temperature even lower than that, but this is extremely hazardous in terms of flammability. Has a health hazard of 2, which it ranks as just hazardous. You would want to use personal protective equipment here. And then this last one, this last diamond at the bottom, is other specific hazards. You'll see that this one is labeled as an acid, but there's also, it could be a base or corrosive or an oxidizer, or maybe it's even radioactive. So that's what this chart is used for. Now on some material safety data sheets you're going to see a very similar chart called an HMIS chart, and instead of the diamonds it has rectangles, but it basically identifies the same thing on the same numerical system from 0 to 4. So glue this here into the bottom, and you would want to be familiar with the different hazards covered on here and this numerical system. So that's it for the right side. We have those things listed, this glued in, and our example material safety data sheet glued into that left margin. On the left, I want you to glue the activity that we did in class for the material safety data sheets. And there were 10 questions, and there's a place to glue this in at the back, and you're not going to draw anything underneath that, but you want to glue it in at the top just so that none of this stuff gets covered up. And you're going to want to make sure that you answer all 10 of those questions for me. And if you need to go back and refer to the set of material safety data sheets that went with this activity, they are on my website under Unit 1 at the very, very bottom. Scroll all the way down, right next to this video, actually, where this video will be posted. You'll be able to find a collection of those. And that's it for page 6 of your interactive notebook on material safety data sheets.